McLaren's Lando Norris snatched Hungarian Grand Prix pole from Lewis Hamilton before the Ferrari driver was lately demoted for second on the grid for impeding. Hamilton appeared to be on course for his first Grand Prix pole since this event 3 years ago after finishing a 10th of a second clear of Norris following the first Q3 runs. However, the McLaren driver found more time in his final lap while his rival struggled to improve, edging his compatriot by just 12 thousandths of a second. It turned out to be Norris who would instead be joined by Ferrari Charles Leclerc on the front row, who would have claimed pole regardless, as Hamilton was later demoted from second to fifth on the grid and by a penalty incurred by impeding the other McLaren of Piastri. Mercedes Kimi Antonelli leading Hamilton by 45 points at the top of the standings, finished fourth in qualifying, but will start from seventh after incurring a free-place grid penalty of his own for failing to sufficiently slow under yellows. Piastri earns a promotion to third, while Red Bull's Max Verstappen, who spin at the last corner in his final lap, causing yellow flags, and Antonelli failed to slow forward, jumps 2 places to fourth. Despite continuing to lap pace in qualifying only seventh, George Russell will start ahead of his teammate for the sixth time in 10 races. So yeah, it's the first time Mercedes haven't qualified on pole, so that'd be pretty disappointing. Russell stopped on track at the end of qualifying as his power unit broke, but Mercedes are able to replace that engine without incurring a penalty. A 17th pole though for Lando Norris, his first since Vegas last year, comes on a weekend when McLaren brought a big upgrade package to a car that had largely underwhelmed to this point in 2026. Norris had a tough qualifying. Ferrari have been very quick. It's tight the whole weekend, but we seemed critical in the first laps, and we did bring a few upgrades. It's hard to know how much it helps in terms of lap time, but it certainly helped today. Very happy to be back on top, especially at a track where you certainly want to be on pole. British rookie Arvid Lindbergh continued to impress, claiming ninth ahead of Nico Hulkenberg, rounding out the Q3 drivers. Fernando Alonso provided some encouragement for Aston Martin, getting into Q2 in that heavily upgraded car, while Alonso will start 16th off, finishing last in Q2. The performance nevertheless indicates progress for Aston Martin as we go into the summer break, and after that Honda will bring in a big upgrade of their own. The one thing missing from Lewis Hamilton's resurgent campaign though has been a Grand Prix pole. The 7-time world champion claimed his first Ferrari Grand Prix win in Barcelona and followed out with a sprint pole at Silverstone. On Saturday at the Hungarian, he appeared to be on course to complete a hat-trick of summer triumphs by claiming pole at the circuit, his last one arrived at for Mercedes in 2023. Having impressed throughout practice and first two parts qualifying, Hamilton edged Norris by a tenth on their first Q3 runs to put himself on provisional pole. It's slightly surprising given his strong position with the leading time for Hamilton to be sent out first of the pole hopefuls for the second and final flying runs. The decision couldn't have backfired more spectacularly. Whether it's down to changing track conditions or a mistake in the first corner and several more after, he was unable to improve. The last lap was the worst lap of all, and the other laps were really good. Hamilton said, "We clearly had the cars to be on pole today and just didn't deliver, so it's tough to swallow." That initially didn't seem to be a major problem, as other cars also struggled to improve. However, the last driver did, and that was Lando Norris, who seized the moment to just edge Hamilton by the smallest margins, and worse was to come for the world champion of 7 times over. Having finished his final lap, Hamilton wasn't warned that Piastri was starting his own final lap behind him and was dawdling into the first corner as the Aussie approached. I was literally told when he was at the apex behind me, so I had no idea he was coming. Hamilton said, "I thought everyone came up behind me. I was the first out, so I thought everyone had finished that." The result was a slam dunk free-place grid penalty, which Ferrari boss Fred Vasseur confirmed as the team's fault, not the drivers. Instead of starting from the front row, a major chance of victory and take a significant chunk out of Antonelli's title advantage, Hamilton will now do well to finish on the podium, what's been Mercedes' worst race of the season so far. The only consolation in Hamilton's pursuit of a record 8th title was that Antonelli also committed an infringement, giving him still hope of reducing the Italians' advantage in the final round before the summer break. And before I go, let me run you through the grid for the Grand Prix tomorrow. Lando Norris on pole. I mean, great effort from him. Really snatched it at the end. I think, probably didn't do it in the fastest car, so credit to him. Leclerc in second, obviously benefited from that promotion, but hasn't really been on Lewis's pace this weekend. Similar story for Piastri. He probably benefited from being blocked, funnily enough, and Verstappen from going wide. So not bad from them. But I think Hamilton will be most disappointed. I mean, obviously to miss out on pole, it's a shame, but not a disaster. But then to have that issue at the end will be hugely, hugely frustrating, and you've got to feel for him. Russell in 6th, Antonelli in 7th. I mean, disappointing day for Mercedes. Obviously, that penalty for Kimi as well, so they'll be disappointed with that. Hadjar in 8th. Not really had the pace this weekend, but I think in general, Red Bull is struggling. We've seen what Max Verstappen's had to say. VCAR continuing their strong pace, and Lindblad maybe just starting to get a bit quicker than Lawson, which is promising for him. Promising pace for Audi as well, although Bortoleto didn't quite get his lap in. LLP kind of seems to be stuck a bit behind those two teams, and we'll need a bit of luck to get points. And then you've got Haas pretty similar with Aston Martin, which is disappointing considering where Haas were at the start of the season. But I think Aston Martin, to get ahead of Williams, that's a pretty solid leap forward. But for Williams, really disappointing. And then, of course, you've got the two Cadillacs at the back, who, I think probably will be the final two on the grid now, obviously with the Aston Martin's improvements. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.